Welcome back to LUTE Labs. Everything so far has played out entirely on the screen and in the editor, but a key point of LUTE is to make use of real-world locations. So let's bring in the map and build a simple game around location. In LUTE, a location is just another variable type. It holds a reference to a scriptable object, and this object has a host of information regarding a specific location. Locations typically have three states: unvisited, visited, once a player has actually reached it, and completed, when a player has completed all activities around that location. Let's take a closer look in the editor now. Okay, so we are back in the editor with our simple scene open, except there's a key difference here in that I've added a new prefab to our hierarchy in our scene. This prefab allows us to use and access the location aspects of LUTE. It contains cameras, location objects which allow the GPS tracking of a device, as well as attribution required when using Mapbox. You can find this prefab in the LUTE Starter Scenes project folder, then head into Games, and then under the basic game. You can either use the scene that is included here, or you can drop and drag the prefab into your own scene and use it from here. There are two key ways that we add locations to our game. The first is using the map window, so we'll cover that now. To open the map window, head into the Flow Engine window itself, enter the toolbar, and press the Show Map button. This will load the map window. You can drag it around, and we can zoom in and out, as you would find with many map interfaces. The key thing here to add new locations is use the right-click button. When we right-click, a new window appears. This allows us to add a name for our new location, such as test location, and it shows the latitude and longitude for that location as well. When we add a location, two things happen, and I'll show you those now. Let's close the window for the map. So the first thing that happens is a scriptable object is created. This scriptable object contains information about the location we have just created on our map. It has an ID, it has the name which we provided, the actual coordinates, and a myriad of different other fields, which we won't go into too much detail for now, but as mentioned previously, it has the status of our location, the unvisited, visited, and completed statuses. There's other information here, but we don't need to worry about that too much. You could potentially increase or decrease the radius of the location, and what this does is increase how far away the player needs to be for it to trigger the location itself. So that's a scriptable object, and if we head back to the Flow engine, we'll notice a variable has been created of the type location, and it's given the name. Variables can't have spaces with variables, so it's removed the space between the test and location words, and the reference value to our variable is the new scriptable object we've just looked at. So if I click here, you can see it's being referenced to this one here. So the other method to create a location is a more manual approach, and I'll show you that now. So you can do this anywhere, but typically we find it best to contain all of your locations in a folder so they're easy to find. Default locations, when you create them on the map, are stored in the resources folder, and this just allows Unity to track them a bit more easily and clearly. So to create it in the more manual method, we can right click in this folder window, head to the create, down to LUTE, then to location, and then a location information. We can call this test location 2. And as you note, it's the same as the other one, except it has no information filled in. So we can fill in some information here. We can just call this test location 2 for the ID. The name can be test location 2. The position we'll simply just copy and paste from our other position. You can use other map tools or apps to get your coordinates, or if you prefer, you can actually walk around the space you are intending to be for the game to be played at, mark down all the coordinates that you are using for your key points of interest, and then copy and paste them into here. Extra fields you can kind of add, but you don't need to, so we can ignore all these other fields for now. Let's head back to the flow engine, and right now the scriptable object is here, but it's not being used in any way on the flow engine. So we need to add it as a new location variable. To do so, we just press the add variable button here, and we head down to location, and we can give this another name. We'll give this test location 2. So this is the variable name, and it doesn't have any reference, doesn't have any value. It's just a name without a value right now. So let's drag and drop our new scriptable object that we've just created manually into that field, and we can see that the scriptable object is being referenced, is a reference to this variable here. Okay. So that covers the basics of how to add a location. But in the next video, we'll actually discuss how we use those locations to build a simple location-based game. And then in the final video of the series, we'll discuss how to test this in the editor and then how to test this at a real location. Thanks for watching with LUTE Labs, and we'll see you in the next one.